Awesome. Okay. Here we go. All right. So first of all, welcome to everyone that is watching. Welcome to you, Micci. And today, the purpose of this live is to kind of get people inside our universe, like the universe that I work with, the universe that you've been in, and to make people more aware of what's going on behind the scenes. Because, you know, I always post things about like what I do as a job. I post things about my clients, but unless people really get the like a sense of what's going on, they might feel it's very far away from them, that it is not about them. So this is kind of the chance to say, hey, here's a real human, an awesome person, a person just like you that has been going through the process, and this is where we got. So do you mind just introduce yourself to the people out there?
Yes, hi. My name is Micci. When I first started working with you, it was 9 months ago. I thought it was like 7 or 8 months, but yeah, I don't. My time frame is wrong. But yeah, I was like, dang, 9 months already. Like 9 months has already gone by. And it's like kind of strange to think of where we started versus where we are now. But when I first got with you, I remember I was kind of I had just moved into a new state. I was in between jobs. There was just a lot of things going on circling around me, and it kind of felt like I really wanted to focus on myself, but my mental energy was being drained in different directions. I didn't really know where to focus it to reach the goals that I was trying to reach. And so when we first started working, as you know, like it was a lot of ups and downs with my moods, a lot of just uncertainty and self-doubt within myself, because I was like, you know, I really want to do this, but without the blueprints, I don't really know what the heck I'm doing. Like I've been working out for a solid year and I see that I've made progress, but you know, I'm in my mind, like I'm comparing myself to everybody else on Instagram who's been working out just as long as me, and they're making far more progress than I was making at the time. And it was really getting to myself. I was putting myself down a lot. And I think the biggest thing that I took from you, like in the beginning, was that you were so willing to just hear me out, even if it pertained to nothing regarding the workouts or regarding the meal planning or anything like that. You were like, okay, well, what's going on with you? Like, are you okay? Because you can't be okay and still try to reach these goals because you're going to be too distracted with everything else. So I was like, all right, you know, yeah, I need to put myself first. I need to figure out, let me write down what's wrong so we can adjust and then go further from there. And, you know, over time, it became less about my problems and more about like, okay, so yeah, these are problems, but we can figure out ways to find solutions. Now we got the solutions. Now it's less stressful on myself. And now I can actually see, okay, these are the goals I'm trying to reach. I know my obstacles. I know where I need to go from here. It's just a matter of allowing myself to take the time to get there and not feel so overwhelmed with all of the baggage around me. So that's where we started with that.
Yeah, for sure. And I remember actually our first conversation, what I remember clearly was that like I felt how much you were putting yourself down because you weren't seeing these results, and you were kind of like stressing out about not achieving the results, even if you had been working out for some time. So I remember that usually like the coaching program is one thing, right? It's my baby in a way. It's like I know some steps, like every person is gonna go through these steps, because I know it works. It worked too many times to not work for someone, but it needs to be dialed in for the person, right? So I remember at the beginning, we wanted to give you some quick success, also to make you believe, okay, there is more, but also to figure out what that more was. So we kind of worked in phases. And the first phase, I remember we worked more with a focus on, you know, training, setting up your nutrition, training, and making that work, right? But then what happened is that by yourself, without me pushing too much about that, the second and third phases went in more into mindset and just life in general. And how do we now kind of take all the other, you know, loose ends and put them all together, so you had like your own personal success formula to keep going on your own, by yourself, from here to the rest of your life, right?
Yes.
So what, like, let me ask you this that might be interesting and help someone out there. What was that kind of like made it easy for you to stick to the program, to be in a coaching program? And what were the biggest, haha moments, or what you gained out of that?
So there were a lot of times where, like, when it came to like nutrition, I was tracking my food, but I wasn't feeling I was making a difference necessarily. Like, I wasn't meeting the goals, like the protein goals or the caloric goals or whatever. I wasn't meeting those. And what really helped me was, like, when I came to you, like, okay, this is what I'm eating. Here, you can see everything that I'm eating throughout the day. Like, what am I doing wrong? Because I feel like I'm not gaining as much mass as I want. And there were multiple times where I would, quote unquote, slip up on my workout meal plan, whatever, and not really be as strict with myself. And there were times where I'd put myself down about it, but then I'd look back and be like, okay, here's what I have done. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And you're like, okay, well, here's some solutions. So you need to cut back on this. You need to add more of that. Let's just test this out for the first couple weeks or so. Let's just see where we're at. Let's just see how you are. And that, it gave me kind of relief, because I knew I could fall back on you if I had any questions. And it was like, okay, so we're going to experiment. We're going to give this a full week. Let's see how it goes. And sometimes it'd go really well. I would notice, my energy levels would be up. I'd be less tired, or I'd feel more energized when I'd be working out. And then there'd be times where if I messed up, I'd reevaluate, like, okay, so this few days I overindulged a little bit. How did that make me feel? Okay, I didn't feel very good about that. So now I can kind of see that I can still have certain foods, but maybe having these in excess is what's causing me to not really meet these goals that I'm trying to reach. And the more that I, eat in excess, or more that I eat less of like protein or something like that, I'm also holding myself back a little bit, just from trying to reach more mass or more muscle. And what really started to come over me was like, okay, I don't really need to be this strict with myself. Like, I don't need to be putting myself down this much. It's just food. I deserve to eat. I'm making money so I can have groceries and buy the food that I want to make. So it's okay. Like, if I mess up, if I overindulge for one day, I've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, I'm not gonna, it's all right. I got tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a better day. I will try harder tomorrow. And if, tomorrow's a good day, then I'll allow myself to relax the next day, just a little bit. And over time, it just became more and more easier to just grant myself that flexibility, because I grew up in an environment where it was like, food is what you got. You eat what you got. And now that I'm older and I got more financial flexibility, it's like, well, I can expand on myself. I'm allowed to splurge on myself to get more protein in some meals, or treat myself in other meals. And that's okay. As long as I know what my goal is and where I'm trying to reach that, I feel like I can allow myself to relax around these particular things.
Yeah. And yeah. And I mean, that is like, you are talking as a person that has been through a process, because I remember, it's like the way you're talking now and saying like, oh, I can relax about it. I can go through it. Like, this is the result, like, people watching, this is how you're thinking now, what you're allowing yourself now, right? So it's all the work that you've been doing for 9 months. So yeah. When you were like back then at the very beginning, or throughout the whole program and the months, this is like how your mindset developed. And it's not like, it hasn't been easy, right? But what you can see is like, would you say that it's like a mindset change, some mindset shifts that needed to occur in order for you to kind of be more self-compassionate, or even like really bring up the self-awareness, knowing what works for you specifically?
Yeah, well, because as you know, like, I work in a gym environment, so every day I'm at the gym, I'm helping people, I'm hearing other people's like, success stories or the troubles that they're going through, and then I reflect back and I'm like, okay, like, I understand this person is extremely buff. He's been eating really well for the past who knows how long. Like, you can see his veins on everything, but that's his journey. And when you said that to me, like everybody has their own journey, that really resonated with me because it made it easier to stop comparing myself to others, whether it's on the internet or in my job space. It was just easier to be like, okay, that's their journey. They're on their own thing. I could follow their routine to a T and it will not affect me the same way. That's just how it is, because everybody's bodies is different. Everybody's anatomy is different, and that's okay. And it was a major mental shift for me. Because I mean, 9 months, putting it in retrospect, is like, that's a long time. That's a long time to make a mental change and to be able to get to the point where I'm at right now. Because in the beginning, I was not okay. I was a mess. I was like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, please help me. I think it probably started to really resonate about the 5 or 6 mark, when I was like really trying to put some practices into play. And about 6 or 7 months in, I was like, that's okay. I'm doing all right. Like, we're not going to talk about that anymore because it's not a problem anymore. We're going to go off this other thing. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. So things change, right? And that is just because you put in the work. So it's not something that is going to happen in 1 or 2 months. And we are not yet finished. Like, we will never be. Right. Neither you are finished with your own personal like growth journey, and and neither am I, and nobody is, and that's the fun part. It's not easy, but you made some major shifts, and that's what inspired me to bring you on here and say, okay, look at this person, all the work. And some people, I think, have this belief of, but that works for other people. And I don't have time, I'm super busy, I have kids, or I have like 3 jobs, or like, what would you say to someone that is either considering, jumping on a program, not specifically this program, but any like journey, personal growth or fitness journey, if they're scared to either invest, even invest money, focus, attention, and their own time? What would you say to them?
I would say that while it's extremely overwhelming, all of these other factors you got going on, it's the easiest thing to do is just take it one thing at a time. Like I always tell people when they come into my job, I work at Planet Fitness. I always tell them, the hardest part is getting here. Like, once you're here, you're good. You can do whatever you want. You can walk on the treadmill for 20 minutes. You can lift weights for 20 minutes, but you did it. You got to the gym, and that's already one success within itself. If you have, a job, if you got kids, if you have less time, you did mention in one of your previous videos, like, think about time as money. How much money do you have left after you get this done? And at the end of your day, how much do you have left for yourself? And thinking about that is like, it really, I can understand that really easily, because money is like money. Everybody understands money, and everybody knows how much they have left. If all you can do is start the program and worry about like meals, do that. If all you can do is worry about working out 1 to 2 times a week, do that, because at least you put your foot in the door, and at least you started. Once you start, you're unstoppable. You create this habit for yourself, and it does take a little bit of time to create a habit, but once you do it, it just becomes second nature. And then, so you already have these skills in your back pocket. Now you're able to see, okay, I did all of these things, I got this done, I was able to work out, or I was able to eat my meal prep, or I was able to meal prep for myself. Now I know I still have some energy left. Now I can add a little bit more. And it's just like adding a little bit more after the other, and allowing your time to like experience that for itself. So I would say give it like 1 to 2 months of just doing one thing, and then add one more.
Yeah.
Nothing to
yeah, for sure. And it's like, yeah, exactly. It's like this kind of getting started that sometimes feels overwhelming, and probably it was overwhelming to you too. Like, I'm sure that once, when we had our first conversation, right? And I say, all right, this is how I can help you. This is the roadmap. Here's the coaching program. Do you want to come in and jump on board? Were you scared of saying yes to, paying money, giving your time, your attention, and your energy in this, with all the things going on in your life and stuff? Were you scared, or were you like, oh yeah, this feels fine, this feels perfect, and I know, it's gonna be easy?
You were like the first trainer I have ever actually like been one-on-one with. So it was a little scary for me because I didn't really know how how you trained. I didn't really know how you handled your clients. It was kind of like going into something blind. But I knew that if I didn't do it, then my goals were just kind of, they're gonna be there, but it's like I wouldn't be as motivated. Like I needed someone to help me see more of a clear blueprint of where I needed to go. And I felt like, okay, yes, this is some money that I'm going to be putting into it. It's an investment. That's really what it is. I'm investing in myself because I want to use these skills for the rest of my life. Like I want to be 20 years ahead, like looking back, like, yeah, I'm still working out. I'm still applying all of these skills. So the money aspect was a little scary too, because I was like, okay, I'm investing money and I don't know what I'm going to get out of this. Maybe it doesn't work out. But for me, the big thing is like, at least I tried, at least I dipped my toes in the water and I could see like, okay, so maybe like, let's say we didn't work out. Okay, so now I know that maybe you're not the best trainer for me, but you did work out. And I resonated with a lot of things that you said. So I know that, okay, I gained all of these skills from you. And if I had the ability to go back on your training program, I 100% would, like without a doubt, because I know what I'm getting myself into now. And I know that like, I, again, am investing in myself. This is all for me. Like I'm doing this for myself. And I don't really think there's a dollar limit on how much somebody should care about themselves. It's like
Yeah.
biggest thing you can do.
Yeah, for sure. I was literally talking today with someone about this, about the only thing we can invest in that makes sense long term is not like, stocks or cars or houses or real estate. At the end of the day, like you can tell that the only asset you have and you can invest on is yourself, because you can take everything away from someone, but if you have the mental strength, the resiliency, yourself, what works for you, you have balance in life, calmness, you control your emotions, you have a sense of direction, you have a network of people because you've been balanced and you treat people well, you have that, you can build it up much easier, right? So for sure it's like the easiest asset to invest in with the biggest return if you really want to be like financially speaking. That is always yourself, first of all. Is there anything else that you feel we should tell the world about anything that you maybe like a lesson that you learned, or something that you feel like, okay, if I can take this from the program and say it out loud to the world or to people around me, they would have a better day?
Just be kind to yourself. Allow yourself to explore new things all the time, even if it comes to little things that you've never tried before, whether it gives you like, some things give me major anxiety and I hate it, but I'm like, I gotta do this. I gotta know what it feels like. So maybe I never do it again. Or maybe I'm like, wow, this was not that bad. Like I should totally go for this. I think the major thing I took from this was like, self-compassion is extremely important, whether it is meeting your goals or trying to get a better job or trying to become the dream person you've always wanted to be. Like allow yourself to explore other routes and allow other people in so they can help you get to these goals, because you can't do everything by yourself. It's not possible to think that way. And we are human, we're learners, we always grow from the things that we learn from. So I think it would be an extremely fun thing for you to do, for you to, again, invest yourself, put that time into yourself, because maybe you'll discover things about yourself you didn't even know you could do. And I think that's the most exciting thing about this.
Yeah, well said, well said. And I think what I appreciate about you allowing me to come into your life, into your universe, right? And you've been vulnerable, you've been open. We had a lot of conversations through the months. We had a lot of long calls, literally like 1 hour long calls on any topic that people can think of, from co-workers to art to, like literally just nutrition and more detailed fitness stuff. And that is what's amazing. Like we need to figure out what works for you and what you needed help with at that moment to keep on going right in the direction that you chose. But what about like, how's your future looking now? I'm curious to hear like, where are you? What are your projects? What do you feel you're taking from this that is propelling you in a certain direction? What are you excited about?
My projects are right now are I'm going to be so I'm starting school in August, and I really am trying to dive myself back into art. I kind of strayed away from it for a little bit because I had so much life stuff going on. It felt hard to focus on it, but ultimately that I love, it's what I'm passionate about. So I'm really trying to just dive face first into the art, essentially. So those are my current projects right now. I am trying to do some commissions. So if anybody's interested in getting some stickers or some art designs, t-shirts or whatever, let me know. I can send you my Instagram. I don't know what it's called, Instagram thing.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I will link your stuff so people can get to you. Because Micci is a great artist on top of a great human being. So of course, if you want to support the art, go ahead. But yeah, you can maybe you can mention your Instagram if people
yeah is
in there.
I would know it, but I'm pretty sure it's at M like Micci _ Wucifer WUCIFER. That's my handle. If you want to reach out to me, just send me a DM for anything. But overall, my goals are really just to keep working out, keep focusing on like applying proper nutrition. So I'm always looking for new ways I can have healthy snacks. So I'm going to be like all in your Facebook trying to see if anyone has any ideas. That's another thing too I want to mention is the community is great. You will always find people who are willing to express themselves on Facebook, help you out with any questions you may have if you're not available. And that's one thing that's really nice to have, and a good fallback is like, okay, maybe I can't talk to my trainer right now, but I got like 50 other people who are in the same boat as me. Maybe we can all work together. So yeah, the community is really, really helpful. Did want to mention that.
Yeah, that's true. We kind of forgot the whole community thing, but it is a thing. And I'm always trying to improve it and make it bigger and stronger. And, you know, even like previous clients like you or all the previous clients that I had, it's so nice that they still, you know, chat sometimes and they still write their goals and interact and help others. And I think the goal is to kind of like be even more, like grow it even bigger, and having like group goals and stuff like that. And then I would invite you, of course. And if you want to jump in, you can.
Definitely. Yeah. It's nice that like community support.
Yeah, I think that's essential, because you see, okay, as much as people right now that are watching this, you know, live or replay or whatever it is, or watching in the future, the thing is now they see, okay, that there is a person that works in a gym, that is an artist, that has some like, it can be me. And you know, it's very, very difficult to reach out and ask for help, and it's very difficult to make the decision and literally take a leap of faith into something. So I want to really thank you for taking the time to being vulnerable and open and being here with us and sharing your story. I truly appreciate it, and you know that. And I can't wait to see where the future is gonna, you know, what it's gonna bring to you. But for sure, we'll keep in touch. So.
Oh yeah, you can't get rid of me.
We have big projects. We have to do some collaborations and do something for sure. So I'm gonna end this live streaming now. Thank you so much for watching. To everybody that has been watching or is watching the replay, if you need to reach out to me or Micci, we're here for you. If you have any questions, you can ask your questions. And if you wrote any questions while we were doing the live and I didn't get to it, I will reply later. So talk to you super soon, guys. Thank you so much for watching.